I've started overlanding like this by chance. It wasn't necessarily a choice, but a necessity. I needed to solve a problem. It happened that I ended up single at 38, 40 when COVID we had. I wanted to enjoy life instead of just sitting at home or working continuously without stopping to make more money, hoping more that something will happen. Well, that something never happened. It appears having the fame, the career, the progression, the access to resources in central London doesn't give you a healthy family. It gives you attention, you might get women, you might get to spend the money on women, but that's pretty much all, at least for my case. What I realized in time is I was wasting life. I was hoping that will happen. I was wasting all my money chasing, as the system is built today, with women always filtering you on your own money and time. It is you, it is 100 other men, 1,000 other men, 10,000 other men. I got to a point where I thought it's time to focus on me. I started to travel as anyone else, hotels, airplanes, back and forth, renting cars. It was not what I wanted. I wanted more, I wanted better, I wanted freedom, I wanted choice. I didn't have that. I was trapped there into the matrix, into the system. I started to travel by car, and yes, I removed some bottlenecks, but not everything. It was just scratching the surface. Then I started to sleep into the car. And again, it got better, it improved the whole experience, but it wasn't enough. I needed more. But more what? I didn't want it to get into something bigger, larger, because the aim was, while I'm still single and nothing happens, instead of staying at home, to go do whatever I want to do, which is what I'm doing now. I didn't want it to commit to something larger because I'm not doing this as a lifestyle. I want to explore activities that I like, and the Duster House, what I have now, is a means to an end. It helps me get there. I see many people thinking that I chose this life, that I love this life, that I identify with this life, and that this is what represents me. And they then come and say, you'll never find a woman if you don't settle, if you don't have a career, if you don't have a job, if you don't stay in a place that you can call home, if you are like this, sleeping like this, driving like this, doing everything like this, which is a wrong perception about who I am. I had the career, I had the continuity, I had the money, I built the house, I built the home, I built everything. The woman didn't happen. So not that one is the answer for sure. Not that one. It might be to be at the right place, right moment. It is so many men, they do 0, minus 100, minus 1,000, a billion, and they still get the family, the woman, or they get the baby, a woman, pretty woman, smart woman, beautiful kids or beautiful kid, and then they throw it away. I don't believe it is about how hard you work. It is more about how much a woman likes you, and then you to be at the right place, right time, and probably not put or make too many questions. I don't identify with this. It is where I got to express a desire, nothing more. I've tried to sleep into the car. It wasn't working properly, so I thought, what can I do to improve it? I was thinking at tents, various tents on the ground, campings. I've tried that, didn't work as well. I was thinking at a hammock. I bought the hammock, I've tried that, didn't work. It wasn't giving me all the freedom that I wanted. So I was one night searching on internet, I don't remember what. I was planning a trip and I was searching for information. And you know how the phone does these days. It is listening to what you are speaking, or the browser spies on what you are searching. And the algorithm figured out that I searched for a solution, something to help me do this type of overlanding. It started to push on me ads about rooftop tents for the car. And I actually was almost about to buy one. It was aggressively pushed on me, aggressively marketed, and I was 99.9% about to buy that tent because I've seen it, the ad was persuasive. I've checked, it was exactly this type of tent going up on the vertical. It is what I wanted, what I needed. It was not that much about comfort than about versatility. I wanted not to be binded to a camping, for example, or a spot like this. In here you can deploy a tent that opens and has the ladder. In other places where I'm going and stopping and sleeping, no way you can do that. I wanted the versatility. I wanted to be able to park the car, lift the tent, sleep, close the tent, get out with the smallest footprint possible. I wanted to be at most in the gray area, for sure not in the red. I didn't want it to have trouble with police, with local authorities, with nobody. And the algorithm, again, they figured that out. I wasn't thinking, I didn't know they exist. Literally, I didn't know. I knew about the other ones opening, but I never wanted that. I didn't know these ones going on vertical like this, they exist. The algorithm figured that out for me. Imagine that, how smart algorithms are today and how much they spy on us and the profiling they are doing. The algorithm suggested that tent. It kept popping on all social platforms I was in, everywhere. It was popping everywhere, every second. I was about to buy that, but then I thought, I should start researching this. I should start and see what is out there, not stay in the funnel they built for me to buy this tent. I started to search, and AutoHome, they almost don't do any marketing. It is so hard to find them and figure out who they are. The website is so hard to navigate. I discovered AutoHome by chance. And when I've seen the tent, I loved how it was looking like. Not that much of a difference between the other ones, except a lever. And with a lever, you manually do it. It gives, the mechanics of it gives more strength against winds. It is stronger. It is more durable. And I liked that idea. And then they were also saying our tent, which is this one, is made of fiberglass, which is better. It cracks less, it takes more abuse and so forth. And I loved the proposition. True, that double or more the price of the other proposition, but I just loved it. It had more features, more comfort, and more durability than the other proposition. I then checked more on the internet. I didn't find anything else that I could like as much. Hence, I decided to buy the Maggiolina Airlander Plus from AutoHome. Was expensive for me, was very expensive, but I made the math. And the math is as follows. If on average you have to pay 80 euro on a room to sleep during peak season, like now, I am a month on the road and I will be one more. This makes it 60 days, July and August, around Italy, France, Switzerland, Austria, Spain, Portugal. If I get to go that far, if not, I have now a month in Italy, so I might very well stay another month here or in Switzerland or who knows where. It's the same math, around 80. You can make it this as efficient as 60 euro, let's say 30 euro a day. Let's say 30 euro. You get a shower and a bed. And if you multiply by 60, it is what? 300 by 6, it is 1800, correct? This is the minimum, 1800. If you are that lucky to find with 30. I'm wondering, what will you find at 30? I don't believe you'll find anything at 30. I don't believe that. But let's say, I would say it's more like 40, 50 for sure. But this makes it already 3,000 euro. Well, in 2 months, this tent, you already paid for it. Yes, with a sacrifice, with a caveat. You don't have hot water, you still have a bed, and you have to go through a process. You have to learn how to live with it. That's true, which I did, and it is why I'm here, to share with you what I learned. In 2 months' time, this pays for itself. In the next years, you are already on profit. The freedom I get, it is 100 times, 200 times more than what I will get in the city or through a hotel. Through that, I'm losing some things. I lose the comfort of a hot shower. I lose the comfort of being next to the city or into the city and doing that type of tourism or activities. I cannot go to bars, I cannot go to clubs, I cannot do city walks that much. Yes, I can park the duster house wherever I want, I can do that, but then in theory or in the majority of the cases I have to get somehow out of there. It is also fully packed. Yeah, in some cities where you know how it is, you have different type of people, it might worry you. It costs more the glass they break than the value of what they might steal. Is not that much value inside the car, but they don't know that. They will try to take opportunity and advantage of it, right? The Duster House, how did I got here? What did I learn? What should you know? It is a lot. You build experience the more you go through it. Of course, the question is always the same, how to provide an answer to your needs, whatever that might mean, based on who you are, based on your profile. For my case, I needed electricity. Summertime, I have a fridge, and then across the year, I have devices with me. I need to be able to charge them, to keep them charged. And the answer to that eventually ended up being solar panels and batteries. Other better solutions I could not find. I've tried generators with gas line, didn't work, wasn't what I needed it to be. At the end, I ended up with an Ecoflow battery and then with an Anker Solix solar panel plus battery setup. The Ecoflow wintertime allows me to maintain the battery of a car, and summertime to power the fridge. I never use the Ecoflow for something else. I might use it wintertime, but I'm moving frequently enough to have the Anker Solix C300X DC charged. I carry with me the Ecoflow battery wintertime for a different purpose. The permanent power solution for the devices remains the Anker Solix setup. I needed power. I have power. I needed to stay clean. Now I have a system that I see works both wintertime and summertime. I've tested initially wintertime and then summertime. Now testing it summertime, and it works. It keeps me clean. I don't have any rashes. I don't have anything. I'm clean. I'm smelling right, and I always am clean, which is good. The system is properly figured out. Cooking. I cook. Before I was eating a lot at restaurants. After COVID, they no longer are where it was before. A lot in our world changed since COVID. One of the things that changed is restaurants. Because of this, I decided to just cook for myself. It is what it is. It is simple. I have to put the effort, but at least it is better overall when you stay and think at the grand scheme of things. I get to travel wherever I want. I make my itinerary without any restriction. When I'm hungry, I cook. When I want to sleep, I sleep. When I need to work, I can work. For cooking, mostly I have MSR, but anything will do. At the time, I bought from MSR because I was using them while doing mountaineering climbs as well. Because I had them, I use them around the duster house. Cooking is solved. I'm cooking. I have the right solution for water, for example. I initially bought a pliable reservoir. It wasn't working. Then I bought a proper water tank, and I'm using that now, for example. It lasted me, it appears, 20 liters for 30 days. I'm only using that for cooking. I will have to refill it back with proper water. I will do it soon. Sleeping. Sleeping is the most problematic thing, because you might think, oh, I have to be in a car in strange places among foreigners. They might be aggressive, they might be thieves, who knows what they are and what they will do to me, which is true, it is a valid concern. This comes with time, you getting used to traveling like this. It depends on who you are, how you approach life. I learned to just not be bothered by it. Yes, it might very well happen. I might get into trouble. I might have the dreaded incident that I'm trying to avoid. Of course, I'm not ignorant or oblivious. I know it can happen. I'm trying to avoid. I'm putting the effort to avoid that. Best places to sleep, it really depends on where you are. But around the cities, next to a cemetery, works perfectly. The parkings are quiet, are low traffic. Police usually doesn't come there. You set tent at 10 o'clock in the evening, then pack it and get out at 6, 7, 8 the most, but 8 is already late. You have to have it packed between 6 and 7 o'clock for the best results. If you want to have full peace of mind, lift it up at 10, sleep until 7, which is already 9 hours if you get to sleep that much, and then shut it down, close it. You can still stay with a car there until 8 o'clock, 9 more, it depends on you. Don't do what I'm doing now. I have a chair out, I have a ladder, I have a solar panel. You cannot do this in the city. It is too much footprint for that. I can do it here. This is for caravans. It is a parking. It is also empty, nobody here. I can do practically whatever I want. Really, nobody will come and tell me anything. On top of a mountain, again, under trees in the forest, you can do whatever you want. Again, leave a place clean. Don't start grilling stuff. You get the idea. We do whatever you want. I mean, do what I'm doing now. Take out a chair, take a solar panel, work, relax, do some cleaning. Don't build for yourself a big, large footprint, because I'm seeing people, even on the beach when they go, they take a lot of space and they bring so much stuff. That is a large footprint. I don't advise for that. I'm trying to keep mine as small possible. It's not comfortable, not always comfortable, but if you really want, you can do it. You can make it comfortable as well without increasing the footprint. Sleeping probably is the most difficult thing to do while overlanding like this, because you have to have a spot. You have to deal with the environment. I had here last night at 11 a party started. They turned the music volume on to the maximum. I could hear through the earplugs the bus. It was that loud. And it kept going until 1 o'clock in the morning. And between 12:30 to 2 o'clock, I had cars getting out, because everyone was deciding every 5 minutes to go back home. And this keeps you awake. It will put you in a position where you are tired, you already deployed the tent, you are already committed, and now you cannot get out of it. And if you do, you'll lose even more time, and you are tired, and you get more and more tired. The more you do this, the longer the trip becomes. You get tired. You'll have to find good spots like this one, except the music, where you can actually sleep between 10 and 7 o'clock. Now you have also the national road, it goes through there. This means you have traffic. You have traffic until 9 o'clock, and then between 5:30, 6 o'clock and 8, it picks up more and more, and then it gets very loud. It makes it impossible to comfortably sleep. And this is one of the big issues of overlanding like this. You hear everything, and it is very hard to just shut down. You are also exposed. It's not like you are in a room or caravan. Even in a caravan, you might feel safer because you have a lock and you turn the lock on, and now you sleep right in here is like sitting on the cars. Everyone sees you. Everyone can gain access to you. It is a different psychology at the end of it. The loud noises makes it different, makes it difficult to fall asleep. Then you either way hear everything around you. Then you might have rain, and the tent is made to take rain. But look, as it happened yesterday, we had rain from where I'm coming, and it was a lot of humidity in the atmosphere here as well, in the air. This morning it was damp inside and wet outside. This is why I'm keeping now the duster house into the sun, for the heat wave to splash on it, to make sure it dries everything properly. I know I would have loved to keep it into a shadow. I will move it after I finish recording this. It is part of a deal, not easy, but it completely changed the way I'm experiencing things. It gives me access. First of all, I'm saving a lot of money. I'm cooking. This means I buy the ingredients and then make meals. It is way cheaper than going to restaurants or to fast food places where either way the quality is so bad and very expensive. You pay, if you eat twice a day, you might end up paying around 30 euro. 30 euro a day to eat the fast food. With 30 euro a day, you can eat the best delicacies of the place you are in. With 30 euro a day, you can have amazing meals, amazing, great, fantastic quality compared to the fast food. Of course, you have to be willing to do that, because I'm cooking around the car and then I'm sleeping on top of a car. It gives me a lot of freedom. Otherwise, I would have not been able to do it. For air conditioning, I go on top of a mountain. It is chill, no need for air conditioning at all. If I want sun, I go back down at sea level on a beach, spend time there. If it is winter, if I want to ski, I go skiing. If I want it to be warm, I just go to Spain or Portugal, and now the temperatures are changing dramatically. It gives me, and I presume it can give to you as well, a lot of freedom, and it helps save money by a lot. Of course, it comes with trades that you have to make. It's not necessarily that easy. It is a lifestyle. It's not easy. It gets you tired. I am tired right now, right in this moment. I'm tired. I probably feel the need to sleep, and I should probably do it. Why not? Now that I'm staying still, I will move a car into the shadow and have a good nap. It gives me a lot of freedom. I can now climb Via Ferrata, go there, drive there, be there. Don't worry about logistics. It's not a big event. It is a lifestyle. It is different. Does this restrict me from getting what I actually want? No, because again, I was in central London. I had the career, I had the access, I had the fame, I had the image, I had the money, I had everything. And it didn't happen. I presume that one, for my case, depends on something completely different. Also, staying at home and not traveling, thinking maybe this will bring someone next to me, it is the wrong assumption. True that I don't have any expectation while traveling like this, because it is only myself with the Duster house. As you see, nobody around me. Yeah, from time to time a car here and there. I usually don't speak with anyone for days. It might happen on Via Ferrata that I meet people, or I meet viewers to the channel that recognize me, and it is how I have chats. I might speak with people at restaurants if I decide to go to a restaurant or to buy an ice cream. I may exchange small talk there. But that's pretty much all. If you go alone like this, you have to deal properly with the reality of it. You'll be alone a lot of the times, or most of the times. When you'll climb, the psychology changes because you are alone, you are traveling alone. In the majority of the cases, you'll get there when nobody climbs as well. So you'll be alone on the route. And this is just about Via Ferrata. If you go on the beach, then of course, now full season, it is full of people, you'll be among people. But strangers, with whom will you talk? No. I don't have expectations for this to change my situation in that regard, with meeting someone and building a connection, but it allows me to do the rest. At the end of the day, I've tried it almost all and it didn't happen. Who knows for what reason? At least instead of just sitting at home and crying or being a slave to a job that I've been for my entire life practically, the question here is when is the best time to at least take a break? I will have to get back to it eventually. I will try to figure out my way back in eventually. But for now, I want to explore. I want to explore life. I want to explore Europe. I want to do more Via Ferrata, invest more in my health. And this does it. The Duster house does this.